as to whether we're going to make an attempt or not. We do have quite a bit of flexibility based on weather in the Pacific for those various scenarios. But that is essentially a launch day decision and would be part of the overall decision on whether we tank or whether we launch based on that weather criteria that coming out of the flight control team.
Thank you. We'll go to the gentleman there in the back, to Stephen Clark.
The Stephen Clark, yeah. So I am Stephen Clark with Ars Technica. Following up on that last question, have you heard anything from SMG about how the ascent corridor is looking? I know that's not within your responsibility, but what are you hearing about the downrange weather in the Atlantic? And also for Jeff, just want to make sure, I know the trajectory and the azimuth changes day to day. Does it actually change like minute to minute within the launch window, and how do you manage that, if so, with different conditions at different azimuths? Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, the azimuth does change, minute by minute. Luckily, it's a fairly small slice, so that was something we dealt with Artemis 1 as well. That impacts us because, of course, from a radar and launch lightning commit criteria, that sort of thing, we have to use those trajectories to decide whether or not a cloud would actually pose a threat wherever it is during the actual countdown. What was the first part of your question, please, again?
Sure. Just what are you hearing from SMG about the ascent corridor?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Right now, weather appears to be very much go. The threat that I saw in the last was under 9% total along the total ascent corridor, so that's really good. And in fact, the other aspects show decent weather continuing through a lot of the launch period. So having high pressure set up across the North Atlantic this time of year works in our favor.
Thank you. We'll go over to Ada right there.
Hi. Is there a defining moment in the countdown when the reality sets that humans are returning to deep space, and how do you experience that as a leader in this mission?
So for me, once we get inside of 10 minutes and counting, that's where it starts, because we all on the launch team at that particular point know that it's become real for all of us. We also know that we all need to be prepared to do everything we can to continue through that or to take any action that would be required. But it really starts to get real for me when we're inside of 1 minute. And when we're inside of 1 minute, to me, I feel very confident and very hopeful that we're going to go. But that's when the first time I think I ever actually think to myself that we really are going to make it that day. Because I'm always thinking about what's going to not let us go, right? Because that's part of my job, is to stop the clock if we need to. So when we get inside of 1, it doesn't mean that we're free, because that's really a dangerous time as well. But that's when it really starts to hit home that we really got a shot at making it today. And I know a lot of people are thinking the same thing, because you can hear a pin drop in that firing room as you count from 10 down to T0. And then after that, though, it may get a little bit noisier at some point. But
thank you. All right, we'll go back to the phone. We have Kenneth Chang with the New York Times again.
And Ken had hung up at this time.
All right. We will then take one more question here in the room. I don't believe we've taken your question yet, sir.
Hi there. I'm Dominic with the Globe and Mail. I wonder if you could just say something about the closeout of the capsule, where backup crew members are going to be in the capsule. I think that's this evening, but could you clarify that part of the operation?
We have 2 time frames when we'll have the backup crew members, and we'll have 1 at each of the intervals. When we're doing the final closeouts of the capsule before tanking, we'll have one of our astronaut support personnel in there working final configurations for the crew, switch list, and a few other things at that point. And then on our actual closeout crew team, it's a 5-person team, we do have another backup crew member. Andre's on that one, and Jenny's on the first one. But he'll be on that team, and he is responsible. He's one of the 2 people. We also have an insertion technician, Bill does that work, that is responsible for strapping the flight crew in during that time frame and getting the crew module all set up at the very, very end. And then when they're done, they come outside. But he'll be inside of the capsule during that time. The flight crew insertion at the end takes about 30 minutes or so. Once the flight crew's there, they do a little work before that, so he'll be in there before that time frame as well. And at the very end, yeah, it's pretty it's pretty good to watch what those guys are doing.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands in the room.